The Lady Royals tipped off the 2012-2013 campaign this morning here at the Hamilton Southeastern Shootout, and they came away with a victory in their season opener as they knocked off the Lake Central Lady Indians by the score of 65-39. Tonight, they will play the final game here in this Southeastern Shootout as they will take on the Lady Vikings from Valparaiso. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Hamilton Southeastern High School. My name is Brian Scott. You are watching Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. This morning, well, it wasn't much of a contest for the Lady Royals. They jumped out to an early lead, led 17-5 after the first quarter, and really never looked back. It was Lake Central coming back a little bit in that second quarter, managing to get the deficit into single digits, but not before. But then Hamilton Southeastern, would go on about an 8-0 run, and that would be all she wrote, as Hamilton Southeastern was led by Taya Reimer, 17 points. Jessica Manganas came through with 16 points. Megan Walton had 9 points in that first game, and Lindsay Walton had 7, along with Casey Hornbuckle's 8 points, as the Royals shot in that first game. Pretty good percentage from the floor, 59% from the floor. They were 4-14 from beyond the arc, and they were and even in free throws, they were 13 of 18 for 72%. Did a good job of moving that basketball around, as the 15 assists on the stat sheet will show. Probably one of the things Coach Chris Huppenthal is not going to be too pleased with. 19 turnovers in that first game, but there was a fair amount of those that came in that fourth quarter, and that was the time when Coach Huppenthal decided that he would empty the bench, get some of his bench players some minutes here in that first game of the season. It was a game that the Royals at one point led by 32 points, and again the final score was 65-39. As we mentioned, good job on the at the free throw line, shooting 72% from the free throw line. Lake Central, they got their chances at the free throw line. They had 30 attempts, only could convert, though, on 19 of them. It was the charity stripe that kept the Indians a little bit into it in the second quarter, but then it was just too much. Hamilton Southeastern, their speed and their aggressive defense just proved too much for the Lady Indians to handle. Again, looking at the stat sheets from this morning's contest, the Royals enjoyed an advantage on the boards, and of course, with both Taya Reimer and Jessica Panganas, they stood a couple of inches taller than anybody Lake Central could put out there. So some good second chance points that were converted by Hamilton Southeastern. Southeastern was able to steal the ball 5 times. They had 3 blocks on the contest. All 3 of them belong to Taya Reimer. So it was a good start for the Lady Royals to begin this season, and they will look to continue that. They're going to take on the Valparaiso Lady Vikings. The Vikings are coached by Jeanette Gray. She is 26-41 now in her 4th year at Valparaiso. They played earlier today, the game right after the Lake Central Hamilton Southeastern game. They fell to the Fishers Tigers by the score of 46-35. And matter of fact, the game that just preceded this one, Fishers came with a sweep here at the shootout. They knocked off Lake Central by the score of 52-45. So the Tigers now 2-0 on the season. For Southeastern, 1-0 now on the year. Chris Huppenthal, well, he's now 130-29 in his 8th year at the helm of the Lady Royals. These two teams did meet back last year. Hamilton Southeastern won that game 60-38, and in fact, over the last 10 years, these two teams have met 6 times, and Southeastern has yet to come away with a loss in any of those contests. So we'll see how the second game of this shootout goes for the Lady Royals, as we welcome you here to Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. Want to make sure you stay with us all season long. Our next game will be next Friday as the Royals will welcome the Westfield Shamrocks in a Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup here at Southeastern. It'll also be the first JV game of the season. Let's give you our starting lineups. First off, for the Valparaiso Lady Vikings, again, head coach is Jeanette Gray. Starting at a guard is a 5'4" sophomore, Grace Winthrow. At another guard is a 5'8" senior, Andy Sarkeesian. At the third guard, a 5'8" sophomore, Carly Thorne. At forward is a 5'9" sophomore, Cassie Fesco. And at the other forward, a 6' sophomore, Stephanie Parker. So as you can see, a very young team. So once again, in the backcourt for the Vikings. Withrow, Sarkeesian, and Thorne, and up front, Fezco and Parker. For the Southeastern Royals, they'll have the same starting lineup that they had to start game one. Casey Hornbuckle will be at one guard, a 5'8 senior. At the other guard, a 5'8 junior, Lindsey Walton. The third guard is a 5'4 junior, Brittany Goggins. At forward, a 6'1 senior, Jessica Panganis. And at the other forward, a 6'3 senior, Taya Reimer. So in the backcourt, it'll be Hornbuckle, Walton, and Goggins. And up front, Panganis and Reimer. Those are your starting lineups for today's final contest here at the Southeastern Shootout. Glad you could join us here on ASO as a long day of basketball comes to a close here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. A bit warm in here after a long day. They've brought some fans to try to cool things off, and for being in November, it is a bit warm outside. So we're getting ready to tip things off. Taya Reimer will jump center against against Stephanie Parker. The ball is in the air, and the tip is controlled by the Royals. As they dump it down into Taya Reimer, she gives it out to Goggins, back to Hornbuckle as they look at a 2-3 zone. Goggins to Lindsey Walton, gets to Panganis in the high post, out to Reimer. Reimer's three is no good, and the rebound is controlled by Withrow of the Vikings. Vikings, of course, they are Class 5A. They are from the northwestern part of the state, and almost a steal by Reimer as they will go underneath, do the Vikings, and getting the bucket on a nice feed is Carly Thorne, and for the first time today, the Royals are trailing 2-0. Looking again at a 2-3 zone are the Royals against Lake Central. It was all man-to-man as the three by Walton is no good. Panganis with a rebound. A little fadeaway jumper is up, and it is good. Panganis has her first bucket, and we're tied at 2. It was a stifling defense that caught Lake Central to start this game, as now the Vikings get it down into the low to Sarkeesian. She can't make the bucket, and the Royals will go the other way. Reimer drives, lays it up off the glass and in. Taya Reimer has her first bucket, her and Panganis, two leading scorers for the Royals in game one. As the Vikings come the other way, they leave it off, and the shot is no good by Parker, and here come the Royals the other way as Panganis will bring it up herself. Left side to Hornbuckle. She'll give it to Reimer. Reimer step back three is on its way. This one misses, and will go out of bounds and belong to the Vikings from Valparaiso. Just underway, first quarter here at the Hamilton Southeastern Shootout. Brian Scott with you. 4-2 is our score. Royals ahead as they show some pressure, and the Vikings are quickly pushing it up and taking it into the lane where four Royals happen to be. Was Grace Withrow, and she's going to be bailed out as a foul will be called against Southeastern. Casey Hornbuckle will pick up the foul first of the contest. And on a nice little inbound play, they get it to Withrow. She quickly puts it up. Shot's no good. The outlet pass from Reimer to Brittany Goggins is long. It'll go out of bounds. And once again, a turnover will give the ball back to the Vikings. Taya trying to get the ball into hands of Brittany Goggins, who had released and had a step on the defenders, but the pass is long. Vikings, good ball movement, and as they try to cross-court pass into the hands of Kazi Fezco, it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Jessica Pagadas, but the ball will remain with Valpo. 4-2, our score. Withrow with the basketball for Valpo. Guarded by Goggins. She will give it up over here to Stephanie Parker, and they come back and swing it around as the Royals stay in a man-to-man. Kazi Fezco guarded by Taya Reimer. Makes a move, poked away, but into the hands of Stephanie Parker. And they'll get it back into the hands of their guard, Withrow. Withrow drives, lays it up, and puts it in. Nice move by Grace Withrow. That's her first bucket, and we are tied at 4. 5:17 remains in this first quarter. We're tied at 4. Royals with the basketball. They go down low to Reimer. Reimer almost loses it. Instead, she'll turn around, pop the jumper. It's no good. And the rebound is controlled by Andy Sarkeesian, and we're going to have a foul is coming over the back, I believe, is going to be Jessica Panganis. Panganis is indeed gets caught with a foul, so her first, team second, and the Vikings will have the ball, and they'll they will face a Southeastern full court press. And now traveling as they get the ball into the hands of Kazi Fezco, and before she could move or she could pass the ball off, she's called for steps. So the Royals have the basketball as they inbound. Here's Panganis. She gets it down into Reimer. Reimer puts it up. Shot's no good, but she's going to draw a foul. I believe that's going to go against Fezco. That's going to send Taya Reimer to the line. Actually, they're going to give it to Stephanie Parker. That's her first. And Taya will go to the line to shoot a pair. First one is good. Substitution now is Fezco will leave and Parker returns. I think they have the foul wrong on that play. It's Christina Veljevic in as Reimer converts the second of her free throws, and the Royals are up 6-4. The Royals again with tough defense as Goggins and Hornbuckle come with the trap. And Goggins, though, is going to be called for the foul. Royals, that was something we saw in that first game. Very aggressive with the traps, but at times maybe a little too much so, as they were called for fouls. 4:40 remains in this first quarter, 6-4. Withrow dribbles. She loses it, taps it back in. Ball is loose on the floor, and they're going to say it goes off of Panganis. And the ball will stay at this end with the Vikings from Valpo. Withrow has shown no fear to go through the lane. That time she lost the ball as they get the ball inbounds. This is Parker with a basketball. And she will give it up to Carly Thorne now, back to Grace Withrow. They try to get it into the hands of Parker, but it's stolen away. Here's Lindsey Walton. Gives it to Goggins. Goggins feeds Panganis. Panganis leaves it short, but it will go off and out of bounds off of a Viking. And it'll stay right down here. Hornbuckle will leave as Megan Walton enters the lineup for the Southeastern Royals. Gets the ball into the hands of Megan, who gives it to Taya. Taya down low to Jessica. Jessica off the glass and in. Credit the assist to Taya Reimer as the Royals double their lead to 8-4 with 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a steal now by Lindsey Walton, and she will take it all the way, lay it up off the glass and in. Lindsey Walton gets her first bucket, and it's now a 10-4 lead for Hamilton Southeastern. Driving through the lane is Withrow, and with a nice little layup, she puts it up and in and draws the foul. And the foul will go against Lindsey Walton. That's her first team foul, number 4. Brittany Goggins will leave, entering the lineup for Hamilton Southeastern. And I believe it's Kaylee Huppenthal. Free throw is up and good as Withrow converts the three-point play. And the Royals see their lead trimmed to 3. Huppenthal will kick it out. They'll give it to Lindsey Walton, to Megan Walton, to Lindsey Walton, down to Taya Reimer, and Reimer put it up and in. Good ball movement by the Lady Royals as Reimer with 6 points here in the quarter. 3 ball on its way is no good by Kayla Gates. Reimer drives, leaves it out for Megan Walton. Now they'll feed down low into Pungonis. Pungonis' layup is short. Loose ball is controlled by Withrow of the Vikings. Vikings get it ahead. Defense collapses, and they will set their offense. 12-7 is our score. Royals with the lead. Vikings is Withrow. Long three, no good. Reimer with a rebound for Hamilton Southeastern. Royals quickly go the other way. Pungonis, step back three is on its way. This one's off the side, but there's Taya Reimer for the rebound and the putback, and it's good. 8 points for Taya Reimer. A 14-7 lead with 2:24 left to go in the first quarter. Nice find as they look down low. They get the ball into Kayla Gates' hands, but Gates can't finish the play, and the Royals will have the basketball. On the other way, finds Hornbuckle and up and good. Kaylee Huppenthal with the bucket, and timeout will be called as Huppenthal bucket will make it a 16-7 lead for Hamilton Southeastern. Want to remind you, if you've missed any of the action all season long, just want to relive any of the games, it's pretty simple. Go to Audio Sports Online, and you'll have an on-demand podcast that's totally free of charge, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can relive all these great moments of Hamilton Southeastern basketball anytime. The Vikings will have the basketball out of the timeout. They trail 16-7. And now we have a foul called away from the ball. This one looks like it's going to go against Maddie Taylor, who is now into the contest. Maddie saw limited action in game one. She found she was limited by foul trouble in that game as well. As they try to dump it down into the low post, tapped out by Reimer, but back into the hands of the Vikings. Here's Withrow with the basketball. She will dribble, gives the ball up. This is Alyssa Gates now into the contest. Fesco will give it back up to Withrow. Good defense by the Royals. We'll reset the lineup for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals in just a moment. As the Vikings being very patient on offense. Shot is up, rims out, and Kaylee Huppenthal will come down with the rebound. And she's going to get fouled as coming over the back is Grace Withrow. That's her first. Second team foul against the Vikings. On the court right now for Southeastern, Lindsey Walton, Megan Walton, Maddie Taylor, Kaylee Huppenthal, and Taya Reimer. Those are your five Lady Royals currently out on the court. They have a 16-7 lead. A minute 11 left to go in the first quarter. Taylor from the free throw line goes right side. Here is Huppenthal. High arcing shot. She can't get it to drop, but she's going to head to the foul line. Foul will go against the Vikings. Foul will go against Kayla Gates. That's her first. Third team foul against the Vikings, and Kaylee will go to the line to shoot a pair. Kaylee, no points in that first contest. Already with a bucket here in the second, and that first free throw, she gets to roll around and drop. Substitution now as Gates will leave, and Andy Sarkeesian will re-enter the lineup for the Valpo Vikings. Meanwhile, Kaylee will have one more free throw on the way. Second free throw, high arcing shot is short. Rebound controlled by Alyssa Gates of the Vikings. And she will hand it off to Nicole Chihahi. Chihahi now into the game for Withrow at the guard. Good trap, and the Vikings able to pass out of it this is Chihahi with the basketball, guarded by Huppenthal. trying to get a screen, and now a double dribble called. Good defense by Kaylee Huppenthal. She forces the double dribble, and the Royals will have the basketball. They're up by 10 now, 17-7, 40.2 seconds remain in this first quarter. Huppenthal up top to Megan Walton. Walton gets it to Lindsey Walton, who feeds Taya Reimer. Reimer to Huppenthal. Put a little bit too much mustard on that one. And Kaylee couldn't get a hold of that basketball, and the ball will belong to the Vikings. 25 seconds remain in this first quarter. 17-7 is our score. They try to feed down low, and it's poked away. Maddie Taylor comes away with it and then throws it away. She saw Megan Walton to her left and was trying to get the ball into her hands, but led her just a little bit too much as Coach Huppenthal. In fact, she might have been trying to throw it to Coach Huppenthal. Final 10 seconds of the first quarter, a 10-point lead for the Royals as the Vikings come. They go to right side. Chihai shot is no good. Huppenthal comes away with a loose ball, and that's the end of the first quarter. The Royals battle back and forth with the Vikings early, but they stretch it out here late in the first quarter, and they'll head to the second with a 10-point lead. Our score after one period, it's the Lady Royals 17, the Lady Vikings 7. We'll be back with second quarter in just a moment. Southeastern leads the Vikings from Valparaiso by the score of 17-7. Brian Scott with you from Hamilton Southeastern High School. The Southeastern Shootout, final game of 4 that we've had here today. The Royals already with a victory earlier today against Lake Central, and now playing the final game of 4 before they will open up before they begin HCC play next Friday right here against Westfield. Grace Withrow now back into the contest for the Vikings. She has 5 points, leading the Vikings. She has 5 of their 7. They'll move it around to Gates. Gates up top to Tiai. And still looking as the Royal defense man-to-man. Elisa Goad also into the game for Hamilton Southeastern. We'll reset the lineups in just a second. Goad with the steal. Still picks up the loose ball. Gets it out to Megan Walton. And Megan's able to put it up and in. So Alicia Goad with the steal. Walton with the finish. And it's a 19-7 Southeastern lead. Chiai gets into no man and stripped by Pangonas. Ball still loose. Maddie Taylor will come out with it for Southeastern. Royals go the other way. Driving up is Goggins. Goggins shot no good. Taylor is able to save it, but she saves it into the hands of Valpo. And Grace Withrow will bring it up for the Vikings as they'll reset the offense. They've been on a cold spell now for the past 5 minutes or so. Watching Southeastern extend this lead. Now get it down low. Turnaround jumper is long by Sarkeesian, and here come the Royals. This is Goad with the basketball. Cross-court pass to Megan Walton. Her shot is a 2. It goes up, hits the rim, hits the top of the backboard support, and that'll give the ball back to the Vikings. Chiai will take a seat back in for the Vikings as Carly Thorne. Megan Walton will leave. She'll get a good hand from Coach Huppenthal as Lindsey Walton will return. It's on the court right now for the Royals. It is Goggins, Taylor, Lindsey Walton, Pangonas, and Goad. 19-7 is our score as we approach the 6-minute mark left to go in this first half. Vikings trying to be very, very patient, but they have gone stone cold from the floor. Gates with the basketball cross court as they get the ball down into the far corner. Here comes the double team, and the ball goes out of bounds, but they'll say it went off of a Royal. Taya Reimer set to return for Southeastern. She will take over for Maddie Taylor. Score remains 19-7. As inbounding the ball will be Andy Sarkeesian for the Vikings. And she'll get it into the hands of Grace Withrow. Withrow again, 5 points. As they get it to Alyssa Gates. Back over to the right side to Sarkeesian. A lot of movement, but good defense so far by the Royals. Back up top goes the basketball. Spinning is Fezco, but she's cut off, and they'll have to reset once again. Fezco working against Reimer. As she finds Withrow, and Withrow gets the basketball, but she kept her feet moving before putting the basketball on the court, and a long possession ends in a turnover for the Vikings, and Southeastern has the ball. They lead by 12 with 5:10 left to go in this first half. Lindsey Walton with the basketball. They go right side to Goggins. They look for Reimer flashing through the middle. Here's Pungonis. Turnaround jumper in front of the free throw line is up and good. Jessica with 6 points. 21-7 is the score. Well, the Vikings have tried to be very, very patient in their offense, and now here's another steal. Pungonis outlets to Goggins. Goggins puts it up and puts it in. 23-7. As I was getting ready to say, the Vikings may not afford to be able to be as patient as they're watching this game quickly get away from them. Withrow drives, puts it up, puts it long. It's recovered. Shot is up, rims out by Carly Thorne. And once again, the Vikings are turned away. Driving is Lindsey Walton, but she has it stolen. And it falls into the hands of Valpo. Approaching the 4-minute mark here in quarter number 2, 23-7 is our score. Grace Withrow with the basketball for the Vikings as they look to end a drought. They have not scored yet here in this second quarter. And that's a drought that goes all the way back to about 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Head coach Jeanette Gray looking for something to get the offense moving. They've tried to be patient, but it's ended in turnovers or steals. Withrow guarded by Goggins. As the Vikings look again to move the ball. This is Fezco guarded by Reimer. And now the ball is loose. It is finally corralled by the Vikings. First shot up is no good, but there's Withrow. That is Carly Thorne to put the first 2 points here on the board for the Vikings in the second quarter. Pungonis, she finds Reimer. Reimer shot no good. Gets her own rebound, puts it back up. It's no good, but Taya's going to head to the line to shoot free throws. Alyssa Gates will be the Viking tag for the foul. It's the 4th team foul against Valpo. And Taya will go to the line where she's 2 of 2 so far on the evening. First free throw is good. She now has 9 points. Substitution, Casey Hornbuckle, and she will replace Brittany Goggins. And substitutions now for the Vikings as Stephanie Parker returns and Christina Veljic is also in for Valpo. Meanwhile, Taya at the line for one more free throws. That one rims out, ball's loose, and it finally falls into the hands of Valpo. Valpo looked like they wanted to push. They didn't have the numbers, so Withrow backs it out. Under 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Again, a suffocating defense, and now we're going to have a foul by Jessica Pungonis. So Pungonis with her second foul, 16 foul against the Lady Royals. 2:48 remains in this second quarter. 24-9 is our score. As Withrow, and now we are going to have a quick timeout as the referee notices that Withrow's shoe is untied, so they will make her retie her shoe. And Valpo will take it side out. Withrow once again brings it into the front court. Tries to get it out. Ball's loose. Here's Taya Reimer. Reimer will lay it up off the glass and in. Reimer with 11 points. It's the biggest lead of the night, 26-9 for the Royals. 2:23 remains here in this second quarter. They have a trap here on the near side, and we are going to have a foul called once again against Casey Hornbuckle on the block. It is the second personal against Casey, but it is the 17th foul, so the Vikings are in the bonus for the remaining 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Trillia Faisal will come in. She will replace Ashley Good. Meanwhile, at the line is Carly Thorne. And the first one rims out of the 1-and-1, and Reimer has the rebound. Tara kicks it back out to Lindsey Walton. Walton to Hornbuckle. As the Royals move it around. 3-ball from Lindsey Walton. That one misses, but there's Reimer for the rebound and the putback. Tara Reimer is not being denied here. She now has 13 points, and it's a 28-9 lead. Under 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Withrow spins, loses the basketball, and they'll call traveling as once again she tried to take it into the paint where only royal blue jerseys could be found, and she ends up walking with the basketball. The Royals have the basketball, and they have a 19-point lead. Walton to Faisal as they give it back and swing it around. Here's Reimer, finds Pongonis. Pongonis puts it up. She can't get the bucket, but she's going to draw a foul on a nice find from Tara Reimer. Andy Sarkeesian is the guilty party for the foul, and Pongonis is at the line to shoot a pair. First one is good, 7 points for Jessica. As leaving will be Sarkeesian. She will be replaced by Kayla Gates. It's the 15th foul against Valpo. As Pongonis with the second free throw, it's up and it's good. 8 points for Jessica Pongonis. 30-9 is our score with 1:33 left to go in this first half. Withrow with the basketball, and here comes the double team. She goes down hard. And the foul is going to go, I believe, against Lindsey Walton. That'll be her second, team foul number 8. And Withrow will be at the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Withrow with 5 points. She is 1 of 1 from the free throw line. First free throw is up. It is good. So she has 6 of the 10 Viking points in this ball game. And she'll look to add one more. Free throw is up. It is good. It's back to a 19-point lead for the Royals. Southeastern brings it into the front court. They'll find Pongonis from the left elbow, and Jessica hits. And that gives Jessica 10 points. And the lead's up to 21 for Southeastern. Approaching the final minute left to go in quarter number 2. As Withrow gives the ball over to the right side. This is Thorne. Thorne left side into the hands of Kayla Gates. Back to Withrow near the center jump circle. 46 seconds remain in the second quarter. 3-ball left wing is up. It's going to be no good. Trillia comes away with the rebound for Southeastern. Right side, she finds Lindsey Walton. Walton drives baseline, gives it to Reimer. Reimer steps through the double team She can't get the bucket to drop, but she will draw a foul. And that's going to send Taya Reimer back to the line. Taya with 13 points. And it's the 16th foul as that foul went against Christina Veljevic. So a pair of free throws for Taya. She misses the first. She will have one more. One more free throw coming for Taya Reimer. 32.3 seconds remain in this first half. Second free throw is up. That's off the back iron. Tipped away. Punganis into the hands of Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle trying to get it to Trillia Faisal, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Kayla Gates of the Vikings, and the ball will stay in the hands of Southeastern with 28.6 seconds remaining in this first half. Royals up 32-11. Hornbuckle will give it to Lindsey Walton. Between the circles, left side to Trillia. Trillia tried to get it into Punganis, and the ball was a little hot, and they'll say it went off of Jessica, and the ball will belong to the Valpo Vikings. 21-point lead for Southeastern. As Valpo now able to get into the front court. They find a player all alone underneath, but unable to convert is Kayla Gates. She will finally get the loose ball and be able to put it back up and in. She had slipped behind the defense. Her first shot was no good, but she was able to get the loose ball. Jessica Pongonis at the buzzer hits the three, and that's how we go to halftime. Jessica Pongonis hits the big three from the right side, or right wing. And the Hamilton Southeastern Royals will head to the locker rooms at the half, leading by the score of 35-13. Stick around here. We'll be back in about 6 minutes. Tell you what some of the halftime stats were. This is Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. Brian Scott back with you from Hamilton Southeastern High School. The Southeastern Shootout, fourth and final game of the day. And it's halftime as the Southeastern Royals lead the Valpo Vikings by the score of 35-13. This day got started off on a good note for the Lady Royals. They defeated Lake Central in the very first game today at 10 a.m. They won that game by the score of 65-39, led by Jessica Pongonis and Taya Reimer. Valparaiso and Fishers hooked up in the second game of the day. It was the Tigers coming away with a victory, 46-35. The Tigers also won the third game of the day, defeating Lake Central 52-45, and we are in the fourth and final game of the day, and Hamilton Southeastern out in front, big, 35-13. Quickly, we'll give you some of our halftime statistics for the Vikings of Valpo. Well, they've struggled to find offense all game long. They're led by Grace Windrow, 7 points. Kayla Gates has 2 points. Carly Thorne has 2 points. That is all that Carly Thorne has 4 points. And that is all that the Vikings have been able to muster here in this contest. They have tried to be patient as best as possible, but that very strong, very suffocating Hamilton Southeastern defense has led to quite a few problems for the Vikings here in this contest. If they haven't been into a forced turnover, they have had unforced turnovers. They have tried to be patient in the offense, look for good plays. At times, they've even gotten some players down behind the Southeastern defenders, but only have not been able to capitalize, missing those easy baskets. Meanwhile, for Hamilton Southeastern, well, they've just been taking those turnovers and converting them into points at the other end. Currently, Southeastern led both by Jessica Pongonis and Taya Reimers, 13 points apiece. 3 points for Kaylee Huppenthal, 2 points for Megan Walton, Lindsay Walton, and Brittany Goggins. And that is the extent of the scoring for Hamilton Southeastern. Jessica Pongonis, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Taya Reimer has 5 of 6, she has 3 of 6 from the free throw line. As the Royals were able to get to the line in the second quarter, but it was Jessica Pongonis with 9 points in that second quarter that helped pull this one out. And allowed the Royals to start pulling away from the Vikings. It was a little bit of a back and forth early in the contest, but since then it's been all Hamilton Southeastern, and they currently lead at the halftime by 22 points. So we're ready for our third quarter action here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. It'll be the same starting 5 for both teams. Lindsay Walton, Brittany Goggins, Taya Reimer, Jessica Pongonis, and Casey Hornbuckle, as they will start the second half looking at a Vikings zone defense, and a nice try on the steal by Carly Thorne, and the possession arrow on the held ball favors the Vikings. So once again, Hornbuckle, Pongonis, Walton, Goggins, Lindsay Walton, Pongonis, and Reimer. And for the Vikings, Withrow, Sarkeesian, Thorne, Fesco, and Parker. This is Withrow, who has 7 of the 13 points as she gives it up and gets it back. Man-to-man defense by Hamilton Southeastern. Withrow drives, kicks it out. 3-ball by Thorne's no good. And it's gotten by Pongonis. Outlet to Walton. Walton will lay it up and lay it in. Good outlet pass by Jessica Pongonis. She finds Lindsay Walton. Walton now with 4 points. And the lead extends to 37-13, just underway here in the second half. And now a steal by Hornbuckle. Casey will lay it up off the glass, get the kind roll, and it will drop. For Casey, her first points in the ball game, and it's now a 39-13 lead. Lindsay Walton with good ball defense against Sarkeesian, but Sarkeesian's able to get it off, and she feeds down low to Stephanie Parker, and Parker has her first points. 6:32 remains in the third quarter. Royals up 39-15 as Casey Hornbuckle, who just had that basket, they kick it out. Here's Walton 4-3 off the back flange. Reimer goes high, but the loose ball's finally corralled by the Vikings. Long outlet pass they find underneath Casey Fezco. Fezco can't convert. Reimer underneath finds Brittany Goggins, but the pass eludes Goggins. It goes out of bounds, and the ball will belong back to the Vikings. Sarkeesian will sit as Kayla Gates will return for the Vikings. Valpo with the basketball. They now trail by 24. This is Withrow, drives through the lane, gets the bucket, draws the foul. For little Grace Withrow, she has shown no fear of going down the lane and in amongst the likes of Reimer and Pongonis. And this time she gets the bucket and she draws the foul against Lindsey Walton, who that will be her third. Fezco will leave as Alyssa Gates is back in, and Withrow is able to convert the three-point play. 10 points for Grace Withrow. 39-18 is our score. 5:55 remains in quarter number 3. Swinging around to Hornbuckle down in the corner. She'll give it up to Pongonis. Pongonis feeds Reimer in the post, and Reimer will convert. Taya now with 15 points as Pongonis and Reimer hooking up once again to push the lead to back to 23. Vikings get it down low, blocked by Reimer, and the Royals come back the other way. Walton drives, lays it off for Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle able to get it to Pongonis. Pongonis, her jumper's no good. Hornbuckle with the loose ball, and they will say no shot, that it occurred on the floor. And the foul is going to go against Alyssa Gates. That is her second. First team foul against the Vikings, one team foul apiece. And the Royals to take it out on the end line. They'll get it into Casey's hands, who gives it to Jessica. Back to Casey. Casey feeds Taya down low. And as Taya was looking like she was trying to get Brittany Goggins over in the left wing, throws it high and out of bounds, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Valpo Vikings. They trail 41-18 as we approach the 5-minute mark left to go in quarter number 3. Left side go the Vikings to Gayla Gates, to Alyssa Gates, and almost poked away by Brittany Goggins. As Kaylee Huppenthal will return, as will Megan Walton, as Brittany Goggins and Casey Hornbuckle will leave. And they'll throw it into the back court to Grace Withrow, and Withrow will bring it back into the front court. Under 5 left to play in the third quarter. And poked away by Megan Walton. Megan takes it, lays it off the glass, and puts it up and in. A steal in the hoop by Megan Walton. She now has 4 points. And it's a 43-18 lead for Southeastern. And the Vikings now almost turn it over as Lindsey Walton tried to corral the loose ball, but it goes off of Lindsey. And that's going to be enough for head coach Jeanette Gray of the Valpo Vikings to call a 30-second timeout. 4 minutes and 22 seconds remain in this third quarter of play. All Southeastern, they lead by the score of 43-18. Our next broadcast of Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online will be next Friday, right back here at Hamilton Southeastern, the opening of Hoosier Crossroads Conference play. We'll also have our first look at the JV squad that Friday night as the Royals will take on the Westfield Shamrocks. We'll have the JV game at 6 o'clock, and then the tip-off for the varsity game set for around 7:30. All that action right here on Audio Sports Online. My name's Brian Scott, joining you for all but just a handful of games this season. Make sure you tune in every week for the Royals Coaches Royals Basketball Coaches Podcast. So we talked to the coaches of the boys and the girls team, Chris Huppenthal and Brian Satterfield, as getting the ball was Alyssa Gates, and she's now going to be fouled. Foul is going to go against Hamilton Southeastern. And we'll go against Kaylee Huppenthal. That's her her first. Team second. Withrow, 4-3, hits from long range. She now has 13 of the Vikings' 21 points. Coming the other way, Lindsey Walton, pull-up jumper is no good. Loose ball is not corralled, is getting it, I guess, is Stephanie Parker. And as she was trying to elude Lindsey Walton, she turned and pivoted, and she's going to be called for traveling. So they'll give the ball back to Southeastern, then get it in the hands of Megan Walton. Walton to Taya. Taya right side to Lindsey. 3-ball on its way. That one's no good, as Huppenthal is able to corral it and toss it back in. But it goes off of the hands of Megan Walton, and the ball will belong to Valpo. Christina Veljevic is back in, as Veljevic will replace Alyssa Gates. 43-21 is our score, with 3:41 remaining in the third quarter, as Veljevic goes to a knee, and she'll be called for traveling. She was trying to elude Taya Reimer and just simply lost her balance. She goes down, and the turnover gives the ball to Hamilton Southeastern. Left side, Lindsey Walton. She'll try the three again. This time she'll nail it. Lindsey Walton with 7 points, as the Vikings quickly come the other way. And as Carly Thorne dribbles, she's knocked down to the ground, and a foul will be called against the Lady Royals. Jessica Bongonis will be called for the foul. That's going to be her third. Also the third team foul here in the second half. 46-21, that's our score, as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter. Withrow gets the ball back, drives in the lane, finally gets it over to the corner. Shot is up and no good, and the rebound's controlled by Reimer and the Royals. Taya, he gets stopped, puts it off the glass, but they're going to call her for traveling, as tried to hold up on that pull-up jumper, might have dragged that pivot foot just a hair, and she'll be called for steps. The lead is now at 25 for Hamilton Southeastern. With the Vikings, Withrow now backing it out. She again has 13 of the 21 points for Valpo. Trying to direct traffic and direct the offense. She's guarded by Kaylee Huppenthal. Huppenthal cuts her off, and instead Withrow will throw up a three. It's no good, but the rebound's chased down by Carly Thorne of the Vikings, and she'll get it back into the hands of Withrow. Withrow trying to get around Huppenthal. Instead, she runs right into a double team, and this is Pongonis on a 3-on-1, and Taya Reimer is going to finish that one off easily. 17 points now for Taya Reimer. 48-21. Royals with the lead. 1:43 left to go, third quarter. Vikings with the basketball. They get it back into Winthrow's hands. She'll throw up a three from the top of the key. No good. Rebound by the Vikings. Carly Thorne. They will wave off the basket, saying the foul occurred before the shot. On the floor, and the foul is going to go against Megan Walton. That's her first. Substitutions now as Pongonis, Lindsey Walton, and Kaylee Huppenthal all leave. Brittany Goggins, Ashley Goad, and Maddie Taylor are all into the lineup for Southeastern. For this 1:33 left to go in the third quarter. Withrow with the basketball. She is guarded by Goggins. She will throw up the three. That one is short. Rebounded by Christina Velovic. She tries to throw it off of Taya Reimer, but a whistle. And we'll see the foul is going to go against Taya. That's her first. It is the 15 foul against Southeastern. Winthrow swings it back as they swing it around to Thorne. Thorne with the basketball back to Winthrow. Royals have stayed man-to-man this entire contest, as they will do, occasionally going zone, but for the most part staying man-to-man. And as Winthrow drives, Goggins thought she had a clean strip. The referee says otherwise. Actually, they're going to give the foul to Megan Walton. That'll be her second. So it is the 16 foul against the Lady Royals. So the Vikings will be shooting free throws the rest of this game. And right now they trail 48-21. Winthrow gets it into Velovic's hands. Here's a long three by Winthrow. That one's short. Reimer with a rebound for Southeastern. Long outlet to Goggins, and as Goggins tried to go up for it, she is hit by Carly Thorne. And I believe Thorne is going to be called for the foul. For Thorne, that is her first. It is only the second team foul against the Vikings, as Grace Winthrow is going to get a much-deserved rest. On the inbound, Ashley Goad for two, foot just on the free throw line, or the three-point line, excuse me. And the lead is 50-21 for Southeastern. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Ashley with the steal. Outlets to Megan Walton. Megan will take it up, lay it off the glass. She can't get the ball to roll into the hoop, but she will go to the free throw line. Stephanie Parker will be called for her second personal foul, third team foul, as Megan Walton will head to the line for a pair. She hits the first of two. As Carly Thorne leaves, Andy Sarkeesian will return. For Megan, one more free throw. She currently has 5 points on the night. And that one hits off back flange, but it's controlled by Taya Reimer. Misses the first shot, puts up the second. Following up and following through, she gets the hoop. 19 points by Taya. 53-21, final 16 seconds of the third quarter. Blocked by by Megan Walton, but the Vikings retain possession. 5 seconds remain as here is Chiai. Her shot as the buzzer goes off is no good, and that's the end of the third quarter. All Hamilton Southeastern as we head to the fourth quarter. The Royals lead the Vikings of Valpo by the score of 53-21. Back with fourth quarter action right after this. You're watching Royals basketball on ASO. Fourth quarter ready to get underway here as the Royals all out in front here by the score of 53-21. Out on the court to begin the fourth quarter will be Jessica Pongonis, Brittany Goggins, Lindsay Walton, Maddie Taylor, and Casey Hornbuckle. For the Vikings, who will start the fourth quarter in a zone, Grace Winthrow Kayla Gates, Christina Velovic, Andy Sarkeesian, and Stephanie Parker. As they will go to a 2-3 zone. They have started quarters with the zone, but we haven't seen them go back to it too often. Hornbuckle looks for Pongonis underneath. The foul on the floor. It looks like it's going to go against Velovic. Second personal against Velovic. It's the fourth team foul against the Vikings. And now a steal as Withrow will take it the other way, and she will lay it up and in. Withrow now with 15 points, and it's a 53-23 lead for the Royals. Pongonis with a basketball up top to Lindsey Walton. They'll swing it around to Brittany Goggins. Back up top is this time the Vikings will stay in this 2-3 zone, but Goggins will shoot the three. That one's long. Pongonis saves it, but she saves it into the hands of the Vikings. Withrow outlet pass is off of the foot of Kayla Gates and Maddie Taylor as she was running back in transition. As head coach Jeanette Gray says it went off of Taylor's foot, so it should be a kick ball. And they were originally going to give the basketball to the Royals, and now the officials agree and give the ball back to the Vikings. Withrow on the inbound heaves up a 14-footer. It's no good. As going for the basket is, they will say it'll simply go out of bounds off of a Viking, and the ball belongs to Southeastern. Just underway, fourth quarter. 30-point lead. 53-23 is our score. As Lindsey Walton finds Pongonis underneath. Spin move, turnaround jumper, right hand is short. Loose ball is finally going to be knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. Maddie Taylor and Grace Withrow fighting for it underneath, and Withrow will bounce it off of the end line and give the ball back to Southeastern. 6 minutes, 38 seconds remain in the basketball game. 53-23 is our score. Brian Scott with you from Hamilton Southeastern. Pongonis left all alone will just simply turn around and hit the calm jumper, just be to the right free throw line extended. For Pongonis, 24 points now in the contest. As Withrow drives, the ball is loose, and as Maddie Taylor and Stephanie Parker fight for the loose ball, the held ball will belong to the Vikings on the alternate possession. As Withrow feeds it, top of the key, shot no good, as Sarkeesian just past the free throw line, threw up the shot. She's going to be hit on the wrist by, I believe, Lindsey Walton. It'll be the fourth personal against Lindsey. The 17th foul. And Andy Sarkeesian is at the line, and she hits the first of two. That's her first point of the night. Substitutions as Lindsey Walton, Maddie Taylor, and Casey Hornbuckle leave. Megan Walton, Kaylee Hubbenthal, Taya Reimer return. One more free throw on the way for Andy Sarkeesian. And that one is good. She has her first 2 points of the night. 55-25 is our score as we approach 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Megan Walton with a basketball. She feeds Pongonis, and they'll swing the ball around. Huppenthal, she finds Taya. Taya to Pongonis. Pongonis fights in the paint, and we'll have a whistle stopping play and a foul called against Valpo. The Vikings foul will go against Andy Sarkeesian. That's her second. Team foul number 5. And that's going to send Pongonis to the line for a pair. First free throw is up and good for Jessica. She is perfect so far on the night, 3 of 3. And this one, though, misses off the back flange, and that time Megan Walton goes over the back to get the basketball, and she's going to be called for the foul. Third personal against Megan. It is the 8th team foul. And we will go to the other end to shoot free throws. And they will put on the line Stephanie Parker. Parker has 2 points in the game. This will be her first trip to the free throw line. First free throw is up. High arcing shot on the 1-and-1. It's no good, and the Royals come away with it. Apologize for not getting the camera moved. But the Royals have the basketball. Here's Taya Reimer, drives baseline, goes strong, up off the glass, puts it up and in. 21 points for Taya Reimer. And it's a 58-25 lead with 5:32 left to go in the fourth quarter. Withrow throws it up. Shot no good. Reimer there with a rebound. And she will bring it up the court herself. Taya drives in the lane, goes between 2 Vikings, no good. Punganis there, her putback can't go up. And now Reimer will fight for the loose ball with Parker. And the held ball possession arrow favors Southeastern. Carly Thorne and Alyssa Gates back in for the Vikings of Valpo. They trail 58-25. Southeastern with the ball. Huppenthal has the basketball. She'll go right side to Brittany Goggins. Goggins to Pongonis. Pongonis finds Reimer. Turnaround jumper from about 10 feet out is up and good by Taya Reimer. 60-25. Royals in command here in this fourth quarter. Fourth and final game of the Southeastern shootout. Here's a long-range three. That rims out by Withrow. Long outlet pass to Megan Walton. Walton will lay it up off of glass and put it up and in. 7 points for Megan. And so far, Grace Withrow has really been the only consistent offense. Now she's forced to putting just everything up. She has the basketball now. She will drive right side. A little floater in the lane is no good. Pongonis with a rebound, and she leads the Royals the other way. She'll hold up. Left side, gives it to Reimer. Reimer to Megan Walton. Pump fake, throws it up, and then throws it into the hands of Grace Withrow, trying to get it to Taya. Withrow does not have the numbers. 1-on-3, not good odds. She wisely pulls it back. And now on a little bit of a pump fake, Carly Thorne tried to do a bit of a ball fake, and she ends up throwing away. Substitutions now as Trillia Faisal will come in. Mariah Trisk will come in as we start seeing head coach Stuppenthal, Lachey Flemons use his bench as Pongonis, Reimer will leave, as will Brittany Goggins. Right side, this is Trillia with the basketball to Huppenthal. Mariah Trisk from the right elbow that hits short. Rebound underneath by Trillia Faisal, and she won't get the bucket, but she's going to get to go to the line to shoot some free throws. Foul will go against Alyssa Gates. That's her third, team foul number 6. And Trillia Faisal will be at the line. Trillia hits her first points of the season. She was held scoreless in the game earlier this morning. But she hits the first one here. Second free throw is up. It's good. 2 points for Trillia Faisal. The lead is 64-25. As we are under halfway through this fourth quarter, 3 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the fourth. As the Vikings look to move the ball, here is Withrow. Her three from the left wing is up. It's good. 18 points for Grace Withrow, and when you consider that the Vikings have 28, that shows you all you need to know about their offensive production. Cross-court pass to Kaylee Huppenthal. And Withrow is able to steal it and save it and gets it back. Vikings as Withrow kicks it out. And now she'll get the ball back. Vikings been trying to set some screens and take some presence in the blocks, but the Royals defensively have been able to move them off. Ball is in the hands of Carly Thorne. Loose ball as Faisal knocks it away. Now they trap and they get the ball back to Thorne. Thorne, 3-ball, misses. It is tipped back and it goes out of bounds and it'll belong to the Royals. Ashley Goad will enter the lineup for the Royals as Kaylee Huppenthal will take a seat. 64-28 is our score. 2:31 remains in the fourth quarter. Royals are going to move to 2-0 on the season. They were the preseason number 1 team in the state of Indiana, according to the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association. And they will have done nothing to dispel that. And there's a good shot. A three-pointer by Casey Fezco. They'll give her the three. 64-31 is our score. Megan Walton leaves the ball up for Ashley Goad. Back to Faisal. Trillia, bounce pass to Megan. Megan tries to leave it off for Lachey Flemings. Flemings wasn't quite looking for it. It was a good entry pass and in-feed to her, but for Lachey, she wasn't expecting the basketball, and the turnover will give the ball back to the Vikings. 1:47 remaining in this fourth quarter. As a successful day here in the Southeastern Shootout for both Hamilton Southeastern School District teams, as here's a steal. Lachey Flemings will not have the numbers, and she will back it out. Here is a 3-ball. Mariah Trisk hits. Trisky hits the 3. 67-31 is the score. As I was mentioning, both Hamilton Southeastern School District teams will sweep today. Fisher's winning both of their games, and the Royals putting the capper on the nightcap, as they'll say the ball will stay in the hands of the Vikings. A minute 8 left. 67-31 is our score. This one really hasn't been in doubt since the first quarter, as the Royals shut down the Viking offense for about 5 straight minutes between the first and second quarters. Under a minute left to go in the ball game, as the Vikings look to move the basketball around. They've been doing that most of the game, and now left alone for a 3 is Fezco. Her shot's no good. Gates gets the rebound. Her shot's no good. And Trillia Faisal comes down with it for Southeastern. She'll get it into Ashley Goad's hands, and Ashley will bring it into the front court. To Faisal with 30 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Megan Walton will hand the ball off, as looks like right now Southeastern moving, and as Ashley Goad makes a move, we're going to have a whistle stopping play, and a foul will be called against the Vikings. Andy Sarkeesian with the foul. That's her third. Team foul number 7. That's going to send Ashley to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Or Alicia Goad, excuse me. So Alicia hits the first of, and we'll get the bonus. 17.3 seconds remain. 68-31, that's our score. And Alicia hits them both. Alicia with 4 points in this ball game. 69-31 is our score, as we are under 15 seconds to remain in this fourth quarter. Vikings will fall. And here's a long 3 on its way. It's no good. Tapped out. Mariah Trisky with the basketball, and the clock reads zeros, and that is the end of the ball game. Final score, the Hamilton Southeastern Royals defeat the Valparaiso Vikings by the score 69-31. Give us a second. We'll have you some final thoughts and final stats in just a moment. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Brian Scott back with you from Hamilton Southeastern High School. Final game of the Southeastern Shootout. The Royals win as they defeat the Vikings from Valparaiso by the score 69-31. Not really close for most of the game as Hamilton Southeastern jumped out to a 17-7 lead, even though Valpo took an early 2-0 lead. It wouldn't last, as it would be the Royals able to come back again with some good defense. They shut down Valpo for a good 5 minutes, and that helped the Royals extend their lead, and they never really looked back. Final stats for tonight for the visiting Vikings from Valparaiso. Leading them with 20 points was Grace Winthrow, and when you consider that Valpo only scored 31 points, you'll see that it was a really rough night for the Vikings. 2 points for Kayla Gates, 4 points for Andy Sarkeesian, 4 points for Carly Thorne, 3 points for Cassie Fesco, and 2 points for Stephanie Parker. That was the extent of the scoring for the Vikings. For the Royals, leading scorer with 23 points was Taya Reimer, 16 points for Jessica Pangona, 7 points each for Megan Walton and Lindsay Walton. With 4 points, Alicia Go, 3 points for Mariah Trisky, as well as Kaylee Huppenthal. Casey Hornbuckle had 2 points. Trillia Faisal had 2 points, as did Brittany Goggins. Lachey Flemons and Maddie Taylor played. They did not score. The Royals improved to 2-0 on the season. Their next game will be next Friday right here at Hamilton Southeastern, a game you can watch right here on Audio Sports Online. We'll have the pregame show for the varsity game at approximately 7:25, but we will have our first look at the junior varsity team as they will be in action that night. It will be the first game of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference season, as it will be the Westfield Shamrocks making their appearance here at Hamilton Southeastern take on the Royals. The JV game will begin at 6 o'clock, and the varsity game is set for around 7:30. Once again, your final score, Hamilton Southeastern defeats Valparaiso in the Southeastern Shootout. They take both games today as they defeat Valpo by the score of 69-31. My name is Brian Scott. It's been a pleasure bringing you tonight's action, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, so long, everybody.